adjust my pants, check out my dick. Okay. Welcome to Behind the Curtain, Part 2.
Hi, what's up?
What's going on? I'm going to forget this is on. It doesn't matter. That's for later. Okay. What are you chuckling?
I'm chuckling at stuff being talked about in the chat. There's some feeling that R3 is the poop, like, sucks now.
No.
Into the current meta.
We can talk about that.
Yeah, okay. I think she's getting a little bit of the heat from Tharn, you know what I mean?
Oh, probably. That's gross. All right, ready?
Ready.
First we're going to do CaptainCon.
Oh, yeah, right.
And then we'll stop, end it,
Yeah,
file that one away, open another one, do that, so we'll pound to it.
Pound it.
We'll like double shot. Boom, boom.
Pound it!
Pew, pew. All right.
All right.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Party Foul.
Party foul.
Party Foul. Greg didn't say beer machine that time. There's also Beer Forge now.
Is that actually a podcast, too?
Yeah.
Damn, who's running that shit?
Menoch, John, and Rich.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know.
They got a Patreon. You should go check it out, people. But not until you check out ours.
Did they drink beer and talk about the beer they drink?
Yeah. And then they play Keyforge.
Is that a game?
Yeah.
Okay. Is it a card game?
Yeah.
Oh, that's why I don't know about it.
You're going to know about it because we're going to start playing.
Oh, shit. Really? I
Yeah.
don't want to.
It's like so easy. It's so cheap.
I know. It's so easy. It's so cheap.
It
Just
is.
like Shadespire, right?
It is. Cheaper now. You're like,
I
okay.
hope so.
I'm Scott. I'm one of your hosts. And as always, we talk about what's on our painting table.
Woot woot.
I'm down to 2 models.
Really?
I got the Rocket Chick alternate version of something.
Oh,
for
well,
Crystal Guard.
one of the bomb or whatever?
I think I'm going to use it as an ace. I don't know if that's allowed or not.
As an ace.
Yeah, there's a Rocket Man ace or something.
Oh, okay. Right.
So
yeah,
it's
yeah.
like the
It's like
only
solo.
Crucible Guard model I think I don't own is the
Right.
ace. Maybe I'll buy it tonight. And I have one more Trancer that I got off of Warren.
Trancer.
He had an extra one for some reason. He's like, here, take another Trancer.
I like to imagine those guys are on drugs. Like,
Yeah, I think they're crazy. They're like wearing like
Every
straitjackets and stuff. So I've tried to paint them all different ethnicities so far.
oh, wow.
I'm not sure what I can do with the 4th one.
Well, what do you have so far?
I've got...
Choose your words carefully.
Yep, that's why if people at home are watching, I looked up and to the right
Yeah.
to try to think about how to word this properly. I have... Can I just go with basic colors?
Somebody of African descent?
Yes.
Okay.
Asian?
Asian?
Yes.
Okay. I don't know. I don't know how you know that, but
I can go with colors.
yeah. Okay. Yeah.
White.
Yeah.
Yellow.
Yeah.
Brown.
But this was the 5th one, isn't it?
4th. I don't know what to do for the 4th.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, you can do kind of some like a mid-tone brown or something.
So like Indian?
Sure.
Okay.
East Asian? Is that what? I don't know. Whatever. Yeah, you can go like a light tone brown.
Alright, that's what I'll try to do then.
Okay.
Be very not racist. But I get to accuse people of being racist when I have them
Why-
on the table.
Why are you picking on the yellow guy?
That's what I say! And then they're like, oh man, I can't believe this is happening. So those are the only 2 models I have left. I fully painted the Crucible Guard faction in a month.
That's
And-
insane.
And
That looks pretty good. I like the green metallic. It offsets really nicely with the rust because the rust is kind of orangey. That's a complementary color. I know you don't know what that means.
I don't know what that means. That was called dumb luck.
Right. And also the gold is like a really yellow gold, which works very well with green. So
That's
it's
a
like
scale
almost
75 gold.
It's almost like you know what you're doing with color.
No, not at all. The grays you can't really see that much because it kind of blends in.
No,
with
that's
the
okay.
silvers.
You want something that's going to sit in the background.
Yeah, and I have some devil dogs, which I think I can take because
Oh,
I
yeah?
can take merc units. So
You
I'm
can
gonna
take
paint.
merc units,
I'm going to
yeah.
paint those now. So,
Right.
I mean, they've been sitting here since the last 2 OTCs ago.
Right.
They haven't been painted since then. They've been sitting like so I'm like, I guess I'll paint these guys now.
There was a time when jacks were really popular that people were like trying to make them work.
I think it was more for Una 2 to knock down the birds because they have melee, they have guns that they can use point blank.
Oh, okay. That would have been a very short period of time.
Oh, it was. And I was like, hey, I'll buy these. And then it was like, they got nerfed. And I was like, wow, I'll never use that.
Don't need to do that anymore.
Yeah. So
I have a question. This is just to get off track for a second. Is
Sure.
McKay's gun is different than the regular train's gun?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's short and stubby.
I know
She
that.
likes the soup can versus...
Right. I meant like, are the stats different?
No.
It's-
I'm pretty sure they're exactly the same.
Oh, really? Because I was actually thinking that, I mean, you could give it a much more of a tank look if you actually put like a barrel with a barrel break on the end and stuff like that. It kind of look cool.
Maybe. I have some tank treads on order.
Is the, like before you assemble the model, is the turret posable at all, or is it just pretty much locked in
It's pretty much locked in. It actually like fits snugly in there and has a notch for it to go just like that.
So is it meant to be a turret? or is it meant to be like a fixed forward sort of gun?
I think it's fixed forward.
It does look like it has a turret ring. Yeah, it totally looks like it has a turret ring. Anyways, are the weapons like arced? Like are the
right side,
things?
left side, and the center one can go wherever it wants.
Oh, right. Okay.
So maybe turret it.
Must be.
I have to paint some silver on that teeth thing.
The T thing?
The teeth that are
the turret ring?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
I'll have to paint that so it's not so green.
Cool. It's a choo-choo.
Every once in a while I pick it up, but I got some treads on order, so I'm going to have to rip it apart.
What? You're insane.
So I can put the treads on. I'm like,
You're nuts. I wouldn't do that now after it's been painted.
We'll see. I don't care.
So that's all you got? 2 models?
2 models. Well, and then the devil dogs.
Right.
And I might buy a unit of halberdiers.
Oh, that's right. You can take all this weird shit in Crucible Guard.
That's what I'm looking at next.
It might make them more sustainable for long-term play.
Because you can switch up. And
we're talking about other stuff, but right now Grimkin is kind of definitely on the down slope. There's still some, people that are diehard on the faction, but
always the way.
Like I played them for 8 or 9 months, and by the time I got to that, I was like, "Yep, I'm done.
I've exhausted this. It's time to move on."
I mean, some of the new stuff they're coming out with, or like the UAs and shit, might perk my interest for playing some bump lists or whatever. But for the time being, I get to play Broken Circle stuff.
Yeah.
So on my painting table, I've got some Scorn stuff for my Journeyman League. I got Mullet Karn, who I just assembled, and like a couple of beast. What are they called? Beast whippy guys. What are those? I don't know. Pain givers. That's what they're called. Pain givers. So not quite up to my. I don't know what our point level is right now. 30 points.
No, we're at 50 this week.
Are we at 50 this week?
Yeah.
I don't even think I can play a league game because I don't have 50 points assembled.
I guess I know what you're doing after this.
I don't know. I have to buy something. I did get Tiberian, but I can't use him in the theme that I'm building unless I take Xerxes. I don't have Xerxes. I'd have to go and buy Xerxes tonight and slap them together.
Just put a base down.
That's
That's what I'm doing. Just bring a base, and then be like,
Just
"This is what it is.
This is my Xerxes."
You can use one of those guys.
We'll see. I'll double check and make sure that I don't have enough points. Anyway, so I have that. He's primed, my nice blue, and then I also picked up Lady of the Feast at CaptainCon, and
oh, that's right. That guy was selling.
Yeah. They had it out in the hall. They had some what do you call them? Blue crate models for $25. I didn't go and see if they had them there, but one of the guys that I played was like, "Hey, you looking for any loot crate stuff? I have this and this and this." And I was like, "Yeah, okay." So I got Lady of the Feast, and I got little Rose Riding Hood, whatever, the Rose model for Grimkin, but she looks like Red Riding Hood. So they're cool. I do like the Lady of the Feast, but I just feel like her pose is like, I don't know, it's just not very exciting. She's just kind of like standing there, her arms out,
sometimes
being regal. That's just happens. She just stands there.
They're just like,
So, anyways, excited to paint those. Those are kind of fun. That's everything that's on my painting table.
No, you got some pig lookouts?
Oh, fuck yeah, there's all that shit that is like on the sideburn. You should see my table. It's like covered in models. But it's like, what am I painting? Well, I'm painting what I'm interested in, I guess. I don't know. Yeah, there's pig lookouts. There's a troll heavy, what's it called? An earthborn. Yeah, there's tons of shit there. There's what are those things called with that are riding the barrel? They're part of that unit with the grenades. Troll unit.
Yeah, they're like the UAs. They let them be the leaders.
The leaders, so you can run 2 min units of.
That's why I bought 2.
What's the unit called?
They're the winter dudes.
Yeah, the winter dudes.
Yeah,
they AD. They're good with Borkatu.
I can't remember.
My brain is terrible. We'd have to open up War Room or something.
I'm like, I can see.
I'm pretty bad with names. Like almost every game at CaptainCon, I was like, I'm gonna target that fucker with the spear there. Don't even remember the names or anything. It's kind of sad. So, what we're talking about tonight is CaptainCon.
CaptainCon.
That was a week ago, more than a week ago, wasn't it? A week and a half?
Wasn't last week, it was the weekend before. So yeah, a week and a half.
A week and a half. Oh my god. And I don't know if I got totally sick, but I did get sick.
Oh yeah?
Almost always. But I came back and I was like, I feel okay, and then I had no energy for probably 5-6 days.
Oh yeah? No,
yeah,
totally
even last weekend I slept for probably 12 to 16 hours on Saturday and Sunday. I was done. And then finally Monday, which is family day, I finally felt like I had some energy and could do something.
Well, at least you beat it down then.
Yeah.
So CaptainCon for us was Fab, Tim, and I were going to drive together. The night before, there was some talk of you and Dave joining us, and then Charles was all of a sudden in again.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, Charles is in, I'm out. I'm like, Charles is not going in my car because he's far too good a player.
He's going to end up in Masters.
He's going to end up in Masters, and it's going to screw everything up. So I'm like, no. So then Fab ended up being too sick to come, so it just was Tim and I.
Yeah.
And I took everything. Oh, we'll just pause that call. We took everything, and I'm like, I took all my,
podcasting
stuff. I took 2 different factions. Like I would just like load a car up. I don't care.
Shadespire, Magic.
It was like everything I could think of, and we left about an hour after Becky and Jeremy, and about a half hour after you guys.
Yeah.
And we ended up catching you in Juanita. I don't know how to say it, but that's what
in Juanita. That's the place.
It was like Oneiti.
Oh, that's where we were stopped for gas, and you pulled in. Yeah.
So we met you guys there, and then we stopped and had some food. Saw Becky and them in the parking lot too, and then you guys beat us there by 5 minutes, I think.
Yeah, you guys must have really been booking because I'm pretty sure Dave was doing like 120 the whole way, and we stopped twice.
Yeah, we
did really briefly.
Canadian speed, we were doing about 135, I think, pretty average.
Mm.
It was just flying along, so we killed the tank pretty fast, but it was pretty good.
Yeah. Nice.
It was pretty funny. So then we got there. It was our typical.
It was quite early, actually. It was
like 4:30. 4:30. We got there. It was pretty early.
Got our rooms.
Got the rooms, no problem. I called ahead and requested. This is my con cheat now. Is I call and get the first floor.
Right.
I call ahead. I don't want to go up in the elevator. I don't want to be waiting for that shit with my pile of army in my hand.
Okay.
I just want to walk right to my room and drop it off and then back out again.
Right.
So from now on, I'm always calling.
You're always doing the main
OTC.
Floor?
I'm already it's already taken care of. I'm on the second floor, which is the main floor. Right there.
Right across.
Walk right out. Yeah. So I'm already
It's I don't know, man. We had the second floor, and I didn't really find it that big a deal. I think because we were probably the same distance as your room, because you're I think. As the crow flies straight, we're probably
just directly above it.
Well, maybe even a little closer to the hall, but we had to take the elevator, right? So it wasn't that big a deal. I think it was fine.
That's fine. But just that's last 2 years ago, I guess, is when we had the first floor, and I was like, "This is amazing."
Yeah.
So I was just like, "I just want this every time now." So then Thursday.
Sometimes it's a big deal, when it's that time where everybody's checking out, then the elevator can be a pain in the ass because it's full of people. And
never even thought of that. But that's true. Thursday night, we always do a tradition. We go out for to the top of the bay.
Top of the bay.
Which, up until 2 years ago, I didn't even realize was on the bay. Because we're always there so late and it's so
black.
dark and the bay is just pitch black. So you just assume it's just like the park or something. And then one time we went out there and threw a rock into the water.
There is water.
There is water. Oh my God. So we always go there for Becky's birthday, which is Jeremy's wife. And it was always
Becky's birthday or Jeremy's birthday? We went for Jeremy's birthday.
Yeah, it's always Becky's.
Okay,
Jeremy's was after. So and so there was 10 of us there this time.
Yeah, I think it was about that, yeah.
It was good times, good food, and then we go back and...
what
did we do? I don't remember what we did Thursday night.
I don't think we did very much. We got back, we did a little bit of drinking, not very much, and then went to bed, I think.
Yeah, I don't think it was... Yeah, I think it ended up being late. By the time we get back from dinner, it's actually pretty late, and we're just like, I'm tired, let's go to bed.
Yeah, we talked about playing games, but just never...
Yeah, we went down there and they were setting it up, and it was more like, if you want to help set up, like, nope. I do enough TOing. I don't need to do any more. I'm good. I'm not going to organize. I'm out.
Yeah, we went down before we went for dinner. We thought we'd maybe play a game, but they were setting up, and one of the guys was like, if you want to help, you can help set up. And I can see Dave just
starting to
his auto senses. He's like, I must help, must assist.
No.
We dragged him away. We went for dinner instead.
So then we wake up Friday. Friday was Champions and Standard Duty.
Standard Duty Pooty.
Yeah, and apparently I signed up for Standard Duty, which I thought Champions would probably be the better way to go because I was playing the Crucible Guard.
Yeah.
So playing Champions and that I felt might have been stronger for me, but I was entirely lazy and decided to stay in Standard Duty.
Standard Issue was probably better just because Charles was in Champions and at least Standard Issue.
JVM was in fucking Standard.
I know, but there's 4 flights, so you might not end up in his flight.
Oh, I was in his flight.
Oh, were you? Okay.
That's the way it rolls. It didn't matter.
Sure, there's a bunch of people that were playing that McWaters and LeBlanc and stuff like that.
I think we had 4 flights, and one of them might only had 13 players. I think there was one bye. Everybody else was full.
It was full 16.
Yeah.
I think Champions had there was a chance of a 5th round, so it must have been over 16. Must have been like 18 or something like that. Because if Jeremy had won his last round, we would have had a fifth round. So
right.
If he had won, I might have had a better chance again.
So I'm in. So let's go over my. I only played
Yeah.
2 games. So
You only played 2 games because you're a puss.
No, it was just like so. And okay.
I saw you playing. I was like, that guy has no idea.
You took a
what he's
picture of
doing.
me. And you're like, this is a guy who doesn't know what he's doing, and I'm like, oh, like, I can't even. Like, my brain just wasn't working. So I took Silvestro and Locke. So 75-point games. I had played 3.
Yeah, you're ready.
Leading up to the event.
I saw. Well, whatever. I saw Austin is playing OTC. I don't know how many 75-point games he's played, but
That's right. They had to recruit a player. So
Yeah. Good on him for playing it, but yeah.
Oh, yeah, just gonna have a good time. It'll be fun. So I ended up playing against one of the French guys. Man, I don't want to go for the name because I totally forget. Although I have him on Facebook, I could check.
The Montreal French guy, or
yeah, Montreal
okay,
French guy.
yeah.
And he's playing Kador. I don't care what he's dropping. I'm just like, Sylvester all day.
Sure.
Because I just wanted to learn him for the team event. Was the idea. So I was going
Right.
to play Sylvester all day, and then I'll play in the team event. I feel like I'll be okay.
I think 2 games of it cured you of that. Didn't
Yeah,
it?
this game cured me of it.
Oh, did it really?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So like, it just got really grindy. It was a great game. I feel like I had a chance of winning if I knew my stuff better.
Sure.
And made a couple better decisions. But I mean, like he was playing Doom Reaver Spam. I don't remember what the caster was, and he had like 4 units plus ponies and
Yep.
all the stuff. And I felt like I was handling everything fine. My Def 18 was fun. He was having a hard time against the Rocket Man. I was able to control that side, not give up points and stuff. But just a couple of bad decisions I made, and I clocked out. So I was like, all right, whatever.
Yeah.
So I go to the fun bracket. Then I get paired up.
You were always in fun bracket.
So I get paired up against somebody else, American this time. I don't remember his name. I do remember he said, "Don't post my picture on Party Foul." So he's hiding.
I'm
from,
wanted in 12 states.
He's hiding from somebody, and I was like, "Oh, look at you!" And he's like, "Well, I just want to keep my fingerprint low." I'm like, "Okay, whatever. Welcome to 2020." What the fuck? I guess it's 2019. Oh, whatever.
It's gonna be 2020
soon. So then he has Cole Grima and something, and I'm just like, oh, whatever, Sylvester again. So I just drop Sylvester, he drops Cole Grima. And this is the funny game that I walked around and told everybody about afterwards, because this was my like, ha ha ha, this is so funny game.
Right.
I charge his his bomber with my Trancer.
Right.
And the way Trancers work, they take D3 damage, they can boost attack, damage, all that stuff. So I do that, but I was base to base with them, and I only slammed him an inch.
Right.
So I'm still engaging him. And I was kind of like, oh. Like, I wanted him to go into the champions. Like, if I can roll a decent number, he's going to slam into the champions, he's going to push them all apart, and I'm not just going to blow them off the table.
Yeah.
Because by then they don't have all their buffs and stuff, right? So that didn't happen. So his following turn, he shakes, so he stands up the dude, does his turn, Cole Grim activates, sprays the objective a few times, and leaves it on like 3 boxes.
Right.
So now he's like, scenario lead.
Yeah.
Yes. So he activates the bomber, engaged with my guy.
Yeah,
I got
yeah.
reach, right? So it doesn't matter. I'm still engaging him. And he's like, okay, I'm going to walk over here and take a free strike. I'm like, okay, pass the clock to me. So he passed the clock to me. I'm like, this is going to take a second. I'm really new with this. Let me just read a couple things. So I like go to the thing, I open the Trancer, and I read his abilities.
Yeah.
And it's at any time he makes an attack, he can do that mental thing where he can take the damage.
He can do boost on your opponent's turn, eh?
Yes. So I didn't know that. So I was just like, hold on, we're just like, oh, I read that, and then I go to the actual attack, and the attack just has the slam on it naturally.
Right.
Let me just tell you, people, you never take a free strike from a Trancer ever. Don't do it.
Yeah.
So, and you can see the look in his face.
He's like
he
oops.
kind of wants to take back, and he didn't ask for it.
Yeah. Well, good on him. Good on him.
I didn't give him the chance. I just like, I take this much damage. So I was like, I'm committed to this.
Yeah.
And then I rolled the hit. I slam him 5 inches over Cole Grima because of where he positioned, right?
Yeah.
I was like, oh, that's going to be bad. So, and this is on his turn.
Yeah.
And Cole Grima's already activated. She can't shake it anyways because she's
No.
knocked down during her turn. You can't.
She's got whatever transfer she's got.
I guess the only way to do that would have been the fell collar. A fell collar could have stood her
Automatically
up.
stands her up?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Because it's like an ability that he
Right.
but he didn't. Then he passed turn because basically the bomber was the last thing to activate.
Oh, right.
So he doesn't even kill the objective. Instead, he knocks down his caster, and then I feat, and his feat is basically Science Portents, and everything goes into Colgrima, and the Rocket Man just killed her. He just like advanced up, we're like, pew, 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 pew.
Imagine that, lying down on the ground, ready to take it.
And I'm like none of the big stuff really activated, and I still had the Trancer standing there, like looking at her, like, I'm going to get you. Yeah, so that was like he could have charged at any time to finish her, anyways.
Yeah,
and slam her again or whatever.
Slam her again. Just keep slamming her
but
around.
automatically hitting. I didn't even need to boost. I would have just been like, look, bam! But yeah, it didn't matter. So he lost, and I dropped. It was like, too much brain power.
This is my victory. I'm out of here.
Yep, I'm like, see you later. I mean, I was just like, I'm like, I'm dropping, dude. If you want to win, I don't really care. Like, I can sit here and clock out. It's all good. He's like, no, I'm going to go 0-2, and I'm going to play someone else who's 0-2. And I was like, I like that thinking. That's a good job.
Yeah, might as well.
So it was pretty funny. That was my.
I know people dropped it. I can kind of understand it, but it's like I came to play games and stuff. I mean, I really understand it if there's like another event or something you want to go play instead.
I just want to socialize.
Really cool. Yeah.
That's what I want to do.
But you go fuck yourself. Probably screwed somebody's strength schedule.
Yeah, no, I don't think so.
It didn't really matter for that
because it was taking the winners. It was just taking winners. That's like I totally wasn't fucking anybody there. So
Like, it mattered a bit more for champions because the top 3 or 4 got in, so strength schedule was a thing there for sure.
Which is why Tim played it out because he was like, I gotta help Jeremy because they got paired up.
Yes. And he did.
Yeah. So that was my first 2 games, and so that puts me at a total of 5 games.
Oh man!
But I did play 2 on Monday.
Damn.
And I can tell you those ones were funny too because I played Ben. Ben hasn't played Signar in a while.
Yeah.
Saw what I was playing and he was like, "Oh, I think I can kill you. Do you mind if I play the other list?" I'm like, "Dude, do what you got to do, man." So he's like, "Okay." So he puts like King 3 on the table. I got first turn. I run up, position out of his threat range. I let him take a couple pot shots at my big boy, the Vulcan, but everything else was out of bottom of 1 shots or whatever. So he positions up aggressively. He's in cover. So he's def 21.
Okay,
that's legit. Like,
yeah.
You know what I mean, like
it's pretty high.
He's only armored 13, but whatever. So then he passes clock over to me, and I'm just looking at the board. I'm like, I think I can assassinate you. And he's like, wait, what? I'm like, remember how you said you were gonna kill me? I think I can kill you. So with MK,
everything gets boosted attack rolls.
Boosted damage rolls.
Oh, it doesn't get boosted attack, just damage?
Just damage.
Okay.
I hope it's just damage, because that's how I played it.
Right.
It's a whole new thing for me, right?
Yeah.
So, she's got like a flare gun on her.
Yep.
And he was too close to the jack.
Oh,
so I shot the jack.
Yep.
And flared the jack, and then he was tagged in it, so it lowers his def by 2.
Yep.
Then, I obviously feeded. I had Huck Chuck come on and rust a jack 2, just for incidental damage.
Sure.
And Big Boy Vulcan walks up and sprays, needing 9s to hit.
Yep.
I hit 1, miss 1.
Yep.
That was sad. Because I boosted. But I needed a 13 to hit the big gun, and I got the 13.
Yep.
So left him on...
That's a number.
Yeah. I left him on 1 box.
Oh my god.
And I was like, it's going to be really hard to do anything else now. So the battle engine charges ace.
Uh-huh.
I hard roll, I think I needed an 8 to hit.
Okay.
I think he's def 14.
Yep.
Needed an 8 to hit, which has ram.
Oh no.
So I push him an inch.
Yep.
Follow up the inch, which now puts me in range for my sprays. Because I was actually out of range.
Right.
So the sprays go, I need a hard 9 to hit.
Yeah.
And I hit the first one.
Oh,
and then he's just dead. He's just like, wah! I was like, that's pretty good. So then we re-racked, and then he played Maddox into me.
Yep.
And he got a whole bunch of assault shots, and maybe took my Vulcan down to half. And then I feeded and blew everything off the table. So he was just like, well, I know I'm dodging Crucible Guard at OTC.
It sounds like she... if she can hit it, she's going to blow the fuck out of it on her feet turn.
Yeah, that's the only thing is the hitting it.
Well, what is the... Oh, I mean, the Vulcan can boost, but is it the only thing on the list that can... besides McKay. Besides McKay.
Yeah, I have... what's it called? The Vindicator in there, too.
Right.
When I shot a jack just instead. I'm like, whatever, I'll shoot that jack. And it's 4 dice damage.
Yeah.
I was like, and I spiked it pretty hard. So I the jack was up on like 6 boxes or something. He's just like, wow.
They Signar better than Signar.
Yeah. So now I've got.
Do they have like Do they have tough ignoring shit and stuff?
Yeah, the Dragon's Breath gun is a 4-inch AoE of fuck your tough.
Right.
Yeah.
Fuck your tough and healing.
And -2 armor.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's pretty good.
Sounds
so
good.
I can apply like a -4 armor swing pretty easy.
Yeah.
Because I have Hut Truck come on, rust something, and
Yeah.
then I can shoot it with the Dragon Breath. I mean, Construct's definitely -4. Everything I can -2.
Yeah.
Is Dragon Breath of -2 anything, so.
-4 bad.
Yeah, it's good for me.
Yeah.
So those are. So I'm up to 7 games now. I'm still playing. I'm enjoying it. So I'm gonna play some MK for a while.
Mm-hmm.
MK.
Choo-choo. Choo-choo.
Haven't committed to a second Choo-Choo yet, but I like the list the way it is.
Right. This is in the Prima Materia or whatever it's called.
Yeah.
And that's can you take infantry in that, or you can only take like the little cloud
I can
dudes
take
or
the
something?
cloud dudes for free.
Right.
So that's what I did.
Yep.
And the rest is pretty much all the.
How does it feel playing like 3 huge bases though? Is that
It's a little clunky.
yeah?
But I can speed up like she has mobility, right?
Right.
So if I go first, Big
Jesus.
Boy is up the tail. He's at a 25-inch line or something.
Yeah.
Which then he's just like.
Isn't she like speed 7 or some shit?
No, she's speed 6, so she goes
Okay.
up to 8.
Right.
Yeah. Well, she has some definitely some mobility.
It's
It's
got some
pretty good.
fast. She's like, everybody, more coal in the engine. Choo choo.
So the thing also has 2 vanguards in the list, and the theme benefit is shield guards
Double
can
shield
shield
guard.
at additional time.
Yeah.
So when I killed Ben, we decided to pretend I didn't kill him.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
let's see if he could counter assassinate me.
Counter assassinate McKay.
Yeah.
Ooh.
No.
She's armor 19.
Armor 19. He can get me.
with 28 boxes or something shitty.
No, sir.
No.
36.
What the fuck? Scar 3 got fucked there.
Karchev's like, what the fuck?
I know. And she's got 4 shield guards.
And 4 shield guards.
Yeah, it sounds bad.
So it's just like he's just like because he went for it and he like which
6 boxes. Jesus Christ.
that's pretty good.
That's insane. Well, she def 10, yo.
Yeah, that's true. She's really easy to hit. But I mean, she's a train.
Well, she's armor 19 with the focus as well.
Yeah.
So
But generally low all the time because I want to put like mobility up or
right.
fail safe.
Fail-safe.
Keep So it's really funny to put fail safe on a shield guard jack and just like watch him shield guard for days. It's just like, oh, what's that? Oh,
Does
Power 21.
does Jumpstart work on her?
What's the wording on Jumpstart?
Says models in the spellcaster's battle group that are currently in the control range stand up and are no longer stationary. Effective models can turn to face any direction.
Yeah, she can change turn to face any direction.
That's cool.
She's not colossal. She doesn't have those rules where you can't
yeah,
move
yeah.
a colossal.
That's
She
just
can
fun.
reposition and all that
It's
stuff.
like choo choo, turn around, charge something. I like it.
Yeah. So we were Friday games. Let's go over that.
All right, yes. So I played Champions.
You did.
I did. It was pretty exciting. And like I said, there's like about 18 people that played. I played my Morvana 1 list, which is like Breno, Stalker, Blood Shaman, 2 units of Tharn Ravagers, Blood Weavers for the ambush, and then a whole host of solos in the Boil Master, Lord of the Feast, blah, 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 all that stuff. So, first round, I got to play against Greg Harrison. So that was funny. I'm Greg Collinson, he's Greg Harrison. I was like, oh, it's the Greg off. So and Greg Harrison, when he played the team event, he played with Jake and Charles.
Oh, that's who that was?
Yeah.
Okay.
That was my
I
first
didn't know
round
who he
opponent.
was.
And he's playing Crix, and he had Scar 3 and a Denny 1 kind of gun list sort of thing. And when we're picking the list, he's kind of like, oh, mortality, ooh. But he played Scar 3 anyways. I don't know if he was hoping that I'd be scared off by Denny 1, but I was like, whatever. I got Zach 1. I'll just deal with it. And we played, and it was not good for Scar 3. I didn't even feed. Just between.
Did you get the shirt that says "I don't need a feat"?
I don't need a feed, man. The Kraken. I'm trying to remember. It committed at some point to kill the Stalker, and then between the Lord of the Feast and a few Ravagers, and I kind of fucked up this. It was kind of funny because I walked up and I didn't really adjust the Lord of the Feast spacing that much, and I was like, okay, so he makes his initial. I wanted to kill a dude so that I could harvest that. So. Was it? Yeah, because I applied mortality with the Blood Shaman, and I wanted to get some fury so that Morvana could throw it a mortality because I had returned a bunch of Tharn and stuff like that. So when I did it, he's like, "Don't you have to attack all the models in your melee range?" I'm like, "Oh no, I think it's optional." So we looked up and it's like it's not optional. So the Lord of the Feast killed Bridget. Oops. But still, between it's good to know information. And I also learned, and during one of my games, that Bridget and Call have advanced deployment. So reading cards, it's good. I don't know. It's kind of good, but at the same time, I use Bridget and Call like a heavy. So having them up there is just, you're tempted to use Bridget's gun and get her killed.
That's like Trancers for me. Like, they have advanced deployment too, but I just get them killed.
Yeah.
Trancers are really good late game.
Oh, sure.
Because once they're in there mixing amongst people, then they're like, oh, I gotta kill that guy. And then they blow up and kill everything around them.
Then
people are like,
and then they have Poltergeist as well. So
if you miss, you get pushed.
They got a lot of rules on their card. It's like, oh, fuck, what the shit did I just do?
But when you have them like early and you want to run and engage something, they can trivially...
Yeah, they have all a lot more tools to deal with it.
So it's better to wait. Lessons learned.
So anyway, I killed the Kraken, and then that turn, I killed a lot of infantry, like a shit ton of infantry, just because between mortality and the Ravagers mini feats, they just destroy those little troll people like no problem. So I won that one. Apparently, Morvana 1 is really, really good in Scar 3. She does bad things to her, and between that and Sackpod, there was one turn where he had a possibility to attempt to assassinate Morvana, because I only had like a couple Sackpods. But Brenos had shot the objective with his gun and left the big 4-inch no shooting thing.
Oh,
and
nice.
To be able to target Morvana, Scar would have to stand in that cloud, so she couldn't shoot. I actually really like that combination between Brenos and cool. Morvana, because he goes in, he kills something, he's an arc node for her at that point, and then he battle wizards the spell that leaves the 4-inch AoE, and so it can complicate things on top of that. So I won that one, and then second round I played a gentleman called Etienne. And he was playing Menoth, and he had Vindictus and Harvey. And I was like, well, I play Morvana. Do that. He played Vindictus, and I really haven't played much against Vindictus since he's been like retooled or they changed him. He had Bastions and 2 units of Incinerators. He had the Church, first game into the Church. So I think I went first, and then
it was a legit church. It was a
legit church.
It wasn't European church.
It wasn't a European church, yeah. It was a legit church. And it's actually pretty good. I don't know if it's like 14 points or something, but it's pretty good for what it does. So I think I put one Ravager in range, just to see if he'd want to proc Vengeance or something like that. And he did. And he RFP'd it, because it RFPs apparently. It's got Crevasse on its gun. Okay then. And then, so top of 2, I sort of like, what would the Lord of the Feast do? And he kind of ran up the Bastions, and they're like in a big line with the Seneschal behind him. And I was like, placed in a little small base, see what I can get. They're like, well, I can get like 3 of the Bastions, the Seneschal, and hit the Church too. That sounds pretty good. If I feat, I think I just kill the whole unit, because then he hits them. If they're mortality, which they were, they're taking POW 15s on top of that. So I do all.
Talk about Lord of the Feast.
Oh, he's pretty stupid. So I do all the setup and stuff like that, and go in and feat, and I kill all the Bastions and the Seneschal, and do 8 points of damage to the Church with Lord of the Feast. So feeling pretty good. And then
that was a free model.
Yes,
people.
It was.
Let's put that in perspective. You took a unit out of solo and damaged the Church for free.
Yes, he could have positioned a lot better, but yes, for sure. I wish he had, because the game didn't shake out the way I wanted it to. So we played it out, and he feeded the next turn, and I can't do much on his feed turn because I can't charge him, I can't target him with the spells, blah, 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 all that stuff. And then we grind out, and I go in the late game to try to kill the Colossal Adjudicator with the Stalker and a couple charges and stuff like that. Mortality hit, because he decided to battle. And I came up like 3 boxes short, or something like that. And it's also like, I wish I'd kept closer track of the turns. I didn't put my turn counter out and stuff like that. So he was like, that was turn 6, and he's up 3-1 or something like that, and I couldn't get the extra points to finish it out. So he got a scenario victory there, and he went on to play in the finals with Charles.
That was a funny game to watch.
Was it?
Well, he had no idea what any of Charles' stuff did.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, it's just like, I don't know what it is. I'm just gonna kill it all. It's like,
yeah, go try.
Like, I don't know what to target here.
You just, yeah.
Charles is great like that, because he knows your stuff better than you do.
Oh, he knows everything.
Just like, yeah,
he knows everything. It's funny when we were driving up. I was talking to him, and he's like, yeah, he's played 4 games of War Machine before CaptainCon. The 4 games he played at ATC.
That he won 5 games at ATC.
5 games at ATC that he's won. He's been playing. I can't remember the name. Some video game Dominions or something like that. It's like this weird game or whatever, but that's what he's obsessing about right now. But apparently that hasn't blunted his War Machine game. So and then I end up playing a gentleman named Stan, and he had Signar, and he had Cray and Sloan.
Cray, I remember walking by saying, Cray! I was like, oh man!
Well, it's champions, right? So it was limited options. So he had Cray and Sloan. I think he had Sloan. I was kind of expecting him to drop Sloan, and I had brought my off list. I didn't really talk about it because I never played it. But it was a Kruger 2 list in Secret Masters. It had to be in Secret Masters, and it had like 3 units of Pharaoh Valkyries and the bird and stuff like that. And I had tested...
Shulgard for days!
So, yeah, and I tested into Sloan. It seemed to be okay, but I didn't really want to play it. So I just hoped that it would scare him off playing Sloan, and he ended up playing Cray. And we played that one, and it was pretty good. Lord of the Feast killed a Centurion. Just saying, that's a 17-point heavy. He had a little bit of help.
I'm just rolling my eyes right now. People at home can see that. I'm rolling my eyes. I can't look the other way. But I'm rolling my eyes at this stupid thing.
It's like I mortality'd it, and I do all this stuff, right? I mortality it. I give him divine inspiration. I puppet master him. I put in. He ran up close enough that I could get a wolf solo in the back, and she did 8 points of damage maybe or something like that.
So there's a little bit of help.
A little bit of help, and she repos out, and then he goes in and just fucking destroys it.
It's gross.
Yeah, I mean it's in the back arc. He's dice off 1 with the first hit. I don't know. It's just stupid. It probably should not happen. So he fought pretty hard. He kind of focused on my restoration unit, and the one turn he almost got it. Like it was down to 1 model or something like that. And then I just brought back the other 5 guys or whatever. They keep killing them. He had 2 Stormstriders in this list, I think. Did he? I don't know. Fuck. Maybe I'm messing up games. I think he had a Stormstrider, at least 1.
I think I saw at least 1.
Because he was trying to angle on an assassination, and I was like, I think I might have 3 sack pawns. So I check. I check with the 3-inch, and he's like, oh, does he have sack pawn? I'm like, yeah. I only got 2. He's like, okay, that's enough. Not doing it.
Now is that like you getting in his head, like you don't want him to go for it, so you're like, I'll just check this now.
A little bit. It's one of those things where you want to deter it, but at the same time, I really wasn't sure if she had 3. I was like, because I had positioned kind of poorly when I was doing my other stuff. I could have had 4 easily, but I just the other 2 were just a hair out, and I didn't want him to commit to that. I guess, right? So was it psychological? I mean, if I tell him that, then he just doesn't go for it. But that's fine. Whatever.
5% assassination still happens 100% of the time.
It's true. It's true. So we grounded out, and I think I ended up winning that on scenario. I think so. Maybe went to turn 7. I don't know. Super long, grindy game, and I just killed things, and he killed things. Kind of ended up locking him out of my, because we're playing standoff. So I locked him out of my rectangle zone with just kept recurring Tharn dudes. He had a Centurion over there, and I was just like, I'm never going to kill that thing with what I got over there. So I just surrounded it with recurring Tharn guys so he couldn't get into the zone. It's nice when they can't trample and shit.
Damn it, get out of the way!
Get him away! So that was a pretty good game. Stan was he plays a lot of different games, actually. He came to play War Machine on Friday, and then he was playing Guild Ball, and there was something else that he was playing. Like a lot.
Legion maybe, or Dust. Dust too.
It was another miniature game, but it's just wow. It's a lot of stuff to keep in your head, all those rules and stuff. But he was good. He was good with the rules. And then the last game I played was against a gentleman named Brian. It's kind of funny because I think sometime after the second round, I went into the bathroom, and there's four urinals, right? So I go to the second one, and then this guy comes in, and the one. The far one, the fourth one, is like a kiddie urinal, so it's really low. And so he goes to the kiddie one, and I was like, "Oh man, I fucked that up. Sorry, dude. you had to take the kiddie one." And he's like, "No, man, it makes me feel big." So this was this guy. This is Brian, and he was playing. He had the Convergence. He had LeConte with all the little dudes, and then he had Iron Mother with robots and stuff. And I was like, "Whatever, I'm gonna play Morvana. She's okay into LeConte. I don't know about Iron Mother." So he plays LeConte. I go first. I have the Ambushing Weavers. He does all his stuff, gets up there, and then at the beginning of my turn, I'm just have to confirm with him which models are of which unit for the Obstructors. He had 2 units of Obstructors, 2 units of Reciprocators, that sort of thing. And I checked to make sure that he had a safety guy way back, that I don't think I could get to, but he put him within 13 inches of the table edge, so my ambushers could get him. And he was kind of like, oh fuck, I really screwed that up. And I was like, yep.
I'm going for it now.
So I counted them all out, and then I spent a fair amount of time, but I dug out that entire unit. I killed it, and I didn't have to commit Lord of the Feast to do it. So felt good. That part of the plan went good. So he did his turn, killed a few things, but he couldn't really like deal with all the Blood Weavers. He killed like maybe 2 that had gone from the safety dude, so they're still back there. And he feeded that turn. And my turn 3, I kind of fucked up pretty big. I was telling him, relax, dude. I know you made a mistake, but at the end of my turn, I fucked up pretty hard. So I put out 3 mortalities. I don't know why, but I did. And I had this like thought in my head that the Lord of the Feast could kill 2 foundries under Lucan's feet if I mortality both of them. That doesn't happen,
no.
By the way. And I had to like
something that the Lord of the Feast can't do.
It was too hard.
They better fix that.
They better fix that.
Seems like they should be able.
He should have more pow. And to do it, I had to like kill a galvanizer under his feet as well because it could shield guard the dude that I could Raven to get to the 2 foundries. So I spent an inordinate amount of time doing this, and not really accomplishing much. And at the end of it, I was like, oh, I didn't toggle restoration like I was going to. Because at the beginning of the turn, I did not keep it because I just brought back the one dude that he killed, and then he'd already done damage to the other unit I knew was going to take more damage the next turn, so I want to start recurring that unit.
Yeah.
Didn't toggle restoration, so I was like, I just wasted like 12 minutes of my clock accomplishing very little, throwing the Lord of the Feast away, and fucking up my following turns. My left flank is going to suffer because of it. But he was kind of already on the tilt about losing the dudes or whatever. He did some stuff. He started scoring in his zone and stuff, and he put the unit that I didn't put restoration on down to like 1 or 2 models. So that's bad. And then my following turn,
I think this is when I walked by.
This is when you walked by. I finished collapsing the right flank. I killed the 2 foundries on that side, and with mortality, the stalker killed an entire unit of reciprocators.
I saw your
in shield wall.
Viking. It was like, whoa!
Those certain things that had, and I worked for Berserk because I wanted to get the volume of attacks. But I charged the first one, and I'm like, dice off 1 because I guess they're 16 up to 20, right? Mortality down to 18. I'm not warping for strength, so dice off 1. I did 9 on the charge, killed that. Berserker sword to the guy beside him who's no longer in shield wall, and now I'm like dice plus 4 or something. Kill that guy. Berserk, boost damage, Berserk, boost damage, Berserk, boost damage, and just got to roll the 9s or whatever, I guess.
Gross.
But it was pretty sweet. And so by that point, I pretty fully collapsed that side. And I kind of just ran Bridget and Call up the side so they're threatening LeConte because I had switched prey onto LeConte. Or no, I switched prey onto Galvanizer or something like that, but it was something that was probably going to die the next turn easily. Brenos was kind of like mid-board, I think. And then his turn, he kind of like charged in and he killed Brenos. And then like my left flank was looking like it was about to collapse as well. So I was like, well, I think I better try to assassinate. Because as much as he was on tilt and I was up a little bit on the scenario, I felt like I was going to have a hard time getting to the last 2 foundries and stuff. So fun stuff happened there. I had to kill the, it wasn't a galvanizer, it was the diffuser, the little pew-pew Hunter's Mark bot. That was preyed. I didn't get rid of that, so I can get prey. I need to put mortality on him, blah, 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 blah. So I get mortality onto Lucan because he's a fucking huge base. And I charge some stuff in to kill the diffuser, and he uses his Watcher move to move the corollary, so he's blocking the charge lane for Bridget and Call. I was like, oh, that's interesting. Let's see if I have enough attacks to kill that. So I think I mortality with the Blood Shaman, and then like a Tharn Shaman guy, and like 1 Ravager kill the corollary, and then Bridget and Call charge in, and Bridget kills the comp with her initials. With mortality and prey, she's like a POW 14 Weapon Master on the gunshot, and then POW 15 Weapon Master on the charge. So yeah. He died. He did have the new thing. I don't know what it's called. The Dick bot that does all the anti-magic stuff.
Right.
And I think he was relatively new to the use of that thing because
we talked about it on the ride home.
Yeah, if he had been a bit better about putting out the little tokens and reducing my range, it would have been more difficult for me to apply mortality to certain things. So
Fair.
I thought it was a good game though.
And then it's now Friday night.
It's fucking night. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Like all my games were like 2 hours long. None of them were short at all.
So I've been drinking a while at this point. I brought 2 liters of booze. No, I brought a liter and a bit of booze, and you picked me up a liter of booze.
I did.
And
it was like candy booze too.
Oh, so good.
I don't know how you can drink that shit. Like I can understand you have like a shot or something, but drink that much of it.
Well, you just drink it on the rocks, and it dilutes it a little bit.
I guess.
Yeah, that's good.
So then we ended up playing Avalon.
So it's my new addiction.
Yeah. I thought you might like it because it's like you being a sales rep right now. You know, it's all about deceiving people and convincing people.
So, but the thing is, now that we've played it so much, we kind of broke the game. I don't know if it's good anymore.
Right.
And so let's go with like my last game playing it was Saturday night. So we'll jump to that for a second.
Yeah.
And this was like my epic moment. So people who haven't played it, whatever.
It's an identity thing. Like
Yeah.
you're hiding your identity.
So I'm Merlin, and I know who 2 of the mooks are.
Yeah.
Okay. Through the game, I figure out who Percival is.
Yeah.
And he's helping me, and this is great.
Yeah.
The problem is, I got dick-faced Matt Massey to my left, who I know is a good guy,
Yeah.
trash-talking me, throwing me under the bus as a villain,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
throwing Percival under the bus as a villain, and
Right.
I'm just like, this isn't going well. So, through Weasley Tim's actions,
Yes.
I'm able to figure out that he's Mordred.
Right.
So I know who the 2 mooks are, and who Mordred is.
Yes.
We win the game. This is the way it works. We've already failed 2 missions.
Yeah. Yeah.
So Percival's up. Through my advice, he recommends everybody who's not evil to be on the team.
Yeah.
Mouth Matt Massey
It's like no, you
trashes
guys are bad.
that shit, and with the support of the bad guys, it gets
Right.
voted down.
Yeah.
Now the puck passes to Mook 1. Then there's Mordred, and then Mook 2. There's no way we're going to be able to vote these down, because they've already thrown me under the bus as a bad guy.
Yeah.
So I snap. But like I said, in a funny, like I'm not like, was never really mad or whatever, right? I stand up and I'm like, you motherfuckers! And they're all like, what? And I'm like, Mook, Mordred! Fuck you! And I throw down my card, and then that's like, head down, just like, oh, what happened?
That was 8 players?
No, we had, I think it was 10.
Did you have 10?
Maybe.
Because there's 2 other characters you can add in, Oberon and
Yeah, we didn't have Oberon.
Morgana.
So maybe it was 8, yeah.
They do kind of mess things up a little more.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I think we played with Jake on Friday night with 6 people, and he figured it out like that.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Oh, it's fairly easy if you know what's going on to figure out at 6 players. When you get to 8 players, if you don't have the experience, it gets to be like a bit of a head mess. And then when you get to 10 and all the special characters are involved, it's just like, it's so hard to tell what's going on.
I feel like the bad guys are advantaged at that point.
Yeah.
But I felt like, because I was able to figure out Mordred and the mooks,
You should be able to, as long as...
But even then, I should be able to assassinate them. Like, me assassinating them was calling them out and being right. Because I give up myself as Merlin. I say, you are the 3 bad guys. We win.
Right.
Like, that should be the counter to being assassinated if the good guys win.
Yeah, yeah.
I think that's the way that should work.
Like, Matt couldn't figure out, based on the quests and who was on the quests, like, who was the bad
He
guy.
just threw me under the bus for no reason whatsoever.
You bad, man.
And I was just like, oh. So there's like, you bring in like past games into it, and you're just like,
oh, I know. I know. Tim was like, I think, majority bad guy for all the games that I played, so I didn't trust him no matter what.
Yeah, that's funny.
But there are a bunch of variations of that. Resistance was like a future one. And I think it's very similar. There might be some different roles in the way they function. And I also played on Saturday night. I played Secret Hitler.
I remember you were really drunk.
I had a bunch of beers, and then Dan DT from what is he from? Boosted Damage or something, one of the podcasts. He likes pigs.
I went to bed.
He went to bed. Okay.
That was when I slammed.
I started drinking. He started giving me whiskey, and that's when shit got out of hand. But Secret Hitler is pretty fun too. But it's a lot of stuff like that. But actually, a mechanic that I really like from that game is that there's like a track marker, kind of like the quests, right? But it's got 2 tracks, one for the liberals and one for the fascists. And as the fascist one goes along, there's like 2 of them where they get to assassinate somebody or pick somebody that gets killed. So, and you don't. I think you don't know. Like who decides who gets killed is whoever is the chancellor or something at the
Right.
time. So you don't know if they're a fascist, and he's just guessing.
So what if you kill Hitler?
Oh, then the bad guys win. If Secret Hitler dies, then the fascists lose.
Nice. So you're like, I assassinate Greg. You're like, damn it, I was Hitler.
That's right. So it's similar, but it's kind of funny. It's got like that different mechanic where you eliminate people and stuff.
Maybe next year we'll try that. I really liked Avalon for how fast quick it was.
Oh yeah.
Like you're just I
And
went to bed at 1. They played till 3 in the morning on Saturday. Like they played 5 hours. Like it was insane.
A lot. But it's also a super simple game. It's like anybody, even people who are not normally game people, can play it. And there's a bunch of I think I posted the picture and Mark suggested a bunch of other alternate type of identity games or whatever. But it's a fun game. Like I even think that if my wife ever gave it a try, she would end up enjoying it as well. I don't think she would. She doesn't have a head for games. Or doesn't care to have a head for games. So
that's like mine. She doesn't want to play. Like she likes her like party games, but not. Like,
this is an excellent party game. Though.
Yeah, but not like she like Pictionary and like.
Well, I think this is like Pictionary, but more fun. All right. So that's what we did Friday night. We ended up playing Avalon. We brought all this other shit. We brought like Shadespire, we brought Magic and stuff like that. And all we ended up doing in the evenings was playing Avalon, which was good.
We didn't do anything. No podcasting, nothing.
It's a great drinking game too, right? I mean, it's like get a little drunk and it gets really on, right? You just start wildly accusing people of shit.
And it was heated and yelling and the perfect place to do it. Like,
Yeah.
Like we couldn't play here on Friday night because we'd wake the kid up yelling and stuff.
Yeah,
so it's just like it's not going to work.
There was a lot of profanity.
Yeah.
And you were funny because no matter if you were good or you're bad, you had the same persona, the same.
Oh my god!
The same
you
type
can't
of
change it up because then it's so obvious.
I guess.
I'm sitting there all quiet and meek. Scott's evil. I'm loud and boisterous. Scott's good. Like it's like so. No. I was boisterous the whole time.
You were boisterous the whole time, and also like emphatic. You were like emphatic and like determined that this is the course of action to take, regardless of what side you're on. So it was like impossible to tell. I think there was a couple of games where I was like, "You're a good guy," but I was like, "No, he's bad. He's bad."
There was like one of my favorites because like we had talked about it between games was like, look, if you're on the first mission, you have to make it fail as a good guy, as a bad guy, because it gives you a huge advantage. Sure, they have suspicion on what's out there, but the advantage is really good. So if we played a small game, there was like 2 of us on it.
Yeah.
So I was a good guy, but the bad guy picked the team.
Yeah.
So he put me and him on it. So automatically
Everybody
everybody
else's
thought I was bad.
Yeah.
Like, Scott always says, I'm like, no! And I'm like, as I'm doing it, I'm like, look, this is going to fail. But I guarantee you it's not my fault.
Yeah.
It was funny.
There was one game that we played where the bad guys didn't even have a chance. Just the way that
No,
it shook
just
out.
the way, just by fluke, they weren't on the teams.
It was like there was 3 good guys in a row to do the quest. It was like he picked 3 good guys, and so they picked the same 3 good guys, and then he just added like 1 good guy or something.
And it worked out just exactly. And then the one, I think maybe the one bad guy tried to change the team up. We're just like, no! We just voted down, and then the next one was exactly the same again. It's just like,
yeah, that was frustrating, but it didn't happen very often.
No, it's like that's dumb. I think winning the lottery is never going to happen. So
all right, so we move on to.
So now it's Saturday. So Saturday's the team event. It's you, Jeremy, and myself. So I'm playing with 2 former WTC Canada players.
Oh yeah, we were so serious.
I needed to be carried here, and it was funny because like I packed up my stuff and I was like, look, I didn't want to let you guys down because we always want to qualify for Masters. So like I could have played my Crucible Guard.
This year was a bit different because Jeremy had already qualified from the Champions event,
right?
And I was kind of like, I don't care.
Right.
Leaving early Sunday sounds pretty good to me right now.
So I was like, I still, it just in me, I don't want to bring you guys down. So
Right.
So I was like, ugh. So I brought Haley 3. No, I didn't.
Yeah, she's in the bag, guys. I swear.
Where's my bag? It's in my room, but it wasn't even in my bag.
No.
And then I brought Siege 1. So I audibled from Crucible Guard to Siege 1 for the team event.
Yeah.
I know what my record was. Okay, so
You don't remember any of your games?
No, I do. So first game we played against I don't know what team it was. And you go, okay, who wants to play what? I'm like, I don't care, dude. Just throw me under the bus all day. I'm playing Siege 1. I can make it work. So I got a Minions player, and I felt bad for him. He didn't know what was going on.
He was playing some weird shit too.
Yeah, he had Helga and Yaga. I thought I was going to get Yaga, but he played Helga. It had
a lot of shield guards.
6 or 9 shield guards in the list. I don't remember. I think let's say 9.
Yeah.
But he just like didn't have his phone, didn't have his tokens. It just was like, I'm like, round started, dude. I'm like, I don't want to be that guy, but time's on yours. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm sorry.
Shit,
like,
bro.
I'm ready.
Yeah.
You're not. I'm not going to lose later because you didn't get your shit ready. So he runs and gets the stuff, then he's fine, he settles down, we deploy, whatever. I run up, there's a nice house in the middle, whatever, he comes up. So, I don't even know who went first, but my first round of shooting, maybe he went first. So I advanced up, I shoot and do some like slamming and stuff like that. First round of incidental shooting, I took out 4 shield guards.
Then you slam something over
I
them?
slammed his heavy over 2 shield guards.
Right.
And the subsequent PAL 12, I rolled so well on damage that they died.
I was like, that's dice off 5, you know?
I rolled really good, 10s.
Yeah.
And so they both died there. I killed the other 2 on the other side. And it was just like, wow, it seemed like that was a good turn. I really can't complain.
Nice way to start.
Yep. So then he has a very inconsequential turn, just standing some stuff up, moving some stuff around, scratches some paint, nothing. So then I feat, and I wreck more stuff.
Yeah.
Lots of stuff dies.
This is your feat turn where you just wrecked lots of things?
Yeah, good thing was dying. And then he's like, he feats, or he feated like he feated for nothing. He did not make a single attack on his feet. Like I don't know what's going on. So then he tried to assassinate me by doing his Cyclone.
Yeah. She's kind of like a shittier Sorsha.
Yeah.
A lot shittier.
And he missed his charge attack, and then
yeah.
That was some like
she has a gang.
Yeah, he couldn't get gang on me either. He thought if he got gang, then he'd need 6s, and he didn't get gang, so he need 8s.
Yeah, she's
so
not.
he failed the boosted 8, and then at that point, just like, I'm not going to do it. So it's like, okay, well, that's my turn. I'm like,
you die.
It goes real bad for you. And he's like, oh, okay, let's just call it like this. You kill this, score that. And I'm like, well, all right, whatever. So that was my first game.
Actually, there's a soft spot in my heart for Helga. I do like her. That she's kind of like a shittier Sorsha. And her feat sounds like a lot of fun, but I've never actually done a lot with it. Just everything being slammed sounds hilarious.
That's funny. So was your first round?
I can't remember the gentleman's name, but I remember his shirt. It was like the thinking icon for Apple, the wheel, and it said thinking. He said, "That's a great shirt. I like it." So, but he had Cole Grima and I don't know, Madrak or something like that. But he ended up playing Cole Grima, and I'm like, okay, it's fun. And we're playing Spread the Net, I think, weren't we? Or no, it was Pit 2. It was Pit 2, for sure, Pit 2. And so I kind of did like a refuse flank thing, went heavy on the right. I want to say he went first. And I was like, oh, this could be awkward. I think he could like push his scenario pretty hard. We had 2 units of Femblades, a champion, Earthborn, some other heavy that I don't recall because it didn't do much.
Bomber maybe?
Maybe it was a bomber, I don't know. So I think I positioned some stuff to be like, hey, you can come and charge and attack these 2 Ravagers. Hopefully I can counter and kill a lot of stuff. So he did, and he feated. He probably shouldn't have feated, I don't think, but he did feat, and he clipped a bunch of stuff. But most of the stuff that he clipped, it was not stuff that I was really going to get offensive with. Clipped a lot of the left-hand unit of Ravagers. He clipped in a fair bit of my battle group. And with the pushes, I'd sort of set up some shit in the middle. I didn't really care if the Ravagers on the left were pushed, but I set up like my 2 heavies up front, then like a Ravager, the Ravager Shaman, Morvana, the Blood Shaman, in like this weird triangular line, so if he tried to push stuff, it just wasn't going to go anywhere. So he did that, and he pushed the stuff on the left, didn't push much on the right or the middle, and then he charged in with some Femblades and, like, I don't know, took down one of the Ravagers, maybe a second one, I can't remember. But my turn, I just sort of, like, clear out the stuff in the middle, throw out a Mortality on the Femblades on the right, then Vengeance up, of course. put Divine Inspiration on the Chieftain, the Tharn Ravager unit. He mini feats and proceeds to kill the entire unit. Fucking like, woo!
You could just watch.
No tough rolls or anything. It's just like killed the entire unit. Maybe it was the Chief. I don't know. It was one Tharn Ravager just killed like pretty much the entire unit of fucking dudes. It's like, okay, that's good. I didn't want to feat that turn because sometimes I found that like if you mini feat with the Ravagers and feat, then you like blow stuff up with their feet, then you don't get to get as deep with the Mass Carnage thing. So his turn, he goes up, and I'm on 2. I made like a nice little wall in front of Morvana and stuff like that, but I was like, I'm pretty sure he can spray me. And in my head, I'm like doing the math. I'm like, am I dead if I'm on 2? I don't know.
We have a commercial for that, you know?
Yeah. Well, I'm camping 2, so it must be good, right? All he's going to get on me is the 4 sprays, potentially, right? But with Signs of Importance and stuff, who knows? 8's for Sign's Importance. If he hits a crit somewhere early, it's bad. But he didn't end up going for it. I guess he didn't feel comfortable making that play. I honestly felt that he probably should have.
I was going to say, sometimes I don't see the long game being like, that was my out, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
It may only be a 10%er.
I'm going to be on 3 or 4 from here on in, bro. So, but I think I talked to the people that know Charles and Jeremy and stuff, and they said it was about a 32% or something like that. So
still, 32% of that might have been better than it's ever going to be.
Totally. So he killed some stuff. The following turn, I killed the Earthborn and probably all the champions. I think I feated to kill the champions, because when they're mortality'd, the feat damage is POW 15 blast damage. So even under the stone, they're taking dice off 3. So it's just a nice way to like blow up all the Sanguine Bond stuff or whatever. And yeah, after that, the right flank is like totally collapsed, and Kolgrima is kind of backing away, but she's still spraying. He didn't kill the Lord of the Feast. He like stationaried him. I was like, well, I guess I can't do shit with that. And he also stationaried the chieftain of the other unit as well. And I'm like, well, that fucking limits my command. Thank you very much. But he had spent down quite a bit, and with no flank on the right, I mortality'd her and got a stalker on her, and she's dead.
Oh yeah, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
Second round, is that when I played Scar 3? I think that was second round, wasn't it?
Sure.
Were we 2-0 or were we 1-1?
I don't know. I played. Yeah, you did play. You played Scar. You played Scar because I was playing Ziggy and you were playing his buddy who plays Crix.
So then I ended up getting. I don't know what his other list was, but it might have been Slayer Spam or something. But I was like, whatever. I'm playing Siege 1. Let's do this. And I played one game against Scar 3, and I think it was against Fabio, who does the D3+1 version. So he always gets more trolls back.
He gets D3+1 dudes?
Well, that's when Fabio plays it.
Okay.
But when you really play it, it's only D3.
Right.
So
Fabio gets a handicap.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I felt like this was a little easier for me.
Yeah.
So, and then I'm like, whatever, I'm going to play Siege. And this was like the one game I wish I could take back, because I think I was the deciding factor on this one.
Wait. My Wolf Rider solo killed Kolgrima's objective. Like, soloed it. I think it might have taken 2 rounds, but it was just like,
I got this.
She kicks ass.
Those things are amazing.
They are fucking stupid.
So I'm playing against Scar 3, and my Siege 1 list is the stupid one that's kind of been adjusted a little bit from Dustin's thing. So it's like 2 Storm Striders, Firefly, Triumph, then 1 Minuteman on Jake's, 1 Minuteman on Kane 0, and I have a junior in the list because I found the Arcane Shield
is helpful.
Is better than the other option, which was like Harlan Verge.
Yeah.
Dustin is currently using, I think, the Trencher Junior.
Right.
I'm just like, no, I'm thinking, I just want the Arcane Shield.
Yeah.
Because I can put it on something. Yeah, then you send him up there and just let him take some beatings.
Or you put it on Siege.
Or that didn't matter anyways.
No.
So I'm surprised at how the game worked out, because I was able to.
I was concerned that your lack of knowledge of the matchup would be a hindrance, but at the same time, Siege blows shit up. Like,
yeah, well, I knew, like, if I could shoot into the deep section, then I'm going to, like, E-leap onto the stuff he wants alive.
Oh, you mean, like, Juicy and the...
Yeah, so, I didn't have to target them directly, I just shot things near them.
Yep.
And then the POW 10 electrical stuff was, like, killing them, so I was like, this is good.
Yep.
So I ended up tabling Scar 3.
Well...
There
was still Scar 3.
I tabled Scar 3.
Yeah, but there was still Scar 3
on the table.
Yeah.
So I made one little mistake, and that was positioning my Storm Strider. I should have...
I looked at the table, and I was like, you may be dead.
Yeah, totally was.
I didn't measure the range, but I think with Dash, she has, was that 7, 8, 12, 13-inch threat?
Yeah.
It looked like 12 inches to me.
Even my thing was not knowing that she was going to knock me down.
Yeah.
Because if she doesn't knock me down, I'm going to live.
7's to hit. Oh, yeah.
So... that was my problem.
Yes.
So,
and you kind of you had a Storm Strider that you could have.
I could have just moved the Storm Strider and blocked any kind of landing or line of sight, whatever.
Yeah.
And then he's not.
It doesn't matter. Line of sight doesn't matter because she has flight, but you just have to deny the landing zone.
Right. Which obviously a Storm Strider in front of Kane or in front of Siege
would do.
Denies it. So it was just like, that was my fault. Oops.
Yeah. You're also. It's important to note you were low on clock at this point too.
That's why I was just like, I'm going to go here and make some attacks, and then I was like,
I think you aimed from where you were.
No, I charged with the Strider, went in to get
the Strider,
attacks,
yeah. I meant Siege. I guess you can't aim with Ground Pounder, but...
No, so I should have just moved over and blocked the leg, and then passed the clock, had 2 minutes left, didn't matter, I'm starting to score everything.
Yeah,
and he can't contest, and then I'm like, what are you going to do? Because you're not assassinating me. But instead, I was like, what are you going to do? He's like, I'm going to assassinate you. So I lost.
You're on full camp, too, and you're just like, okay.
I was on 7.
You're on 7.
I actually had one from I even pulled one from the Squire. I'm like, oh, just like, might as well. I'm like, just keep it, let's go. So yeah, that was sad.
But she's like, is the Ram POW 14?
Yeah, I think so. And then he had Draconic up too, so it was POW 16.
POW 16, and then she's got the
Dice
Sabers, which go up to POW 14 or something, I don't know, plus the gunshots. She's got a huge volume of attacks that she can just...
It was a lot.
Yes.
It still took him all the way down towards his like last one to do it, so it's just like, whatever, who cares. So that cost us to go into the loser bracket, but...
Well, I lost my game too.
Oh, so it was your fault too.
It was my fault. Yeah.
You guys were supposed to carry me. So Jeremy won his game, but then who'd you play into?
I played Ziggy, and he had scored. He had Makeda 3. And,
I looked over. I was like, thank God I'm not playing score. I just don't know what any of this shit does. Maybe I could shoot off the table.
I made some fundamental errors. But so last year, when I went to Masters, I played your opponent. You can't remember his name, eh? I can't remember his name either.
No.
So I played him round 1 or 2 or something, and then I played Ziggy right after him, and they're buddies. So I kind of knew them from last year. And I just I'm going to play Morvana, and he picked Zadesh, thinking I was going to drop my other list, which was Kruger 2, I think, is what I put down on the sheet, but I had zero intention of playing that list as well. So he's kind of like, Makeda 3 just eats the Tharn list alive, and I'm like, I don't know, nobody plays score in my meta. Maybe.
Let's find out.
So it was Mirage, and I got to pick sides, and there was a big house in the one zone. I was like, I'll take that because that'll protect my zone. And then I didn't really think about it that carefully because there was a sliver of zone on the other side of the house that he could park the Archidon in, and it really cost me in terms of CPs. We played out Mortality, I guess this is probably bottom of 2, Mortality, the right-hand Derp Turtle, Lord of the Feast goes in, kills the Agonizer, and the Derp Turtle. Maybe I got 1 or 2 charges with Tharn Ravagers on the Derp Turtle as well, but fuck that shit up. And then there was he had 3 Iridius soldiers at the list, and the one on the left I could charge with 3 or 4 Tharn Ravagers, which I did. And if I had Mortality I would have killed it because my dice were so fucking hot. I had left it on like 3 boxes or whatever, but not Mortality. It healed up, and I kind of derped when I made that charge, and I didn't move the chieftain and the backup dudes. So 4 of them charged, and 3 of them just sat exactly where they were, which is about 4 inches behind the guys who charged or something. So I was like, well, I'm in real danger of losing that entire unit. That's the one with the restoration. Just have snacking on the soldiers, so he can deny me some of the stuff. But it's important long game to keep that unit soluble. So Ziggy feeded the next turn, and he took out like that entire unit. And I was like, Shadfish, my mistake. And I can't remember. He killed some other stuff. Lord of the Feast for sure. Killed some of the Ravagers on the right. Yeah, I'm zoning on some of the mid game and stuff like that.
All right, pause it there for a sec. I gotta switch a battery.
All right.
And then I can just edit that.
I'm gonna get a drink of water too.
Okay, you do that.
I get pasty.
All right, continuing from where you left off.
Am I on? Okay.
I didn't stop recording this. God damn it! I should have paused that too. Now I gotta figure that out. Son of a.
So Zadesh's speed is super annoying. So I did make some mistakes there because it's defensive strike and counter charge all going on at the same time.
Yeah, it's funny because you were like, I'm going to move this here. He's like, pause the clock, counter charge. Like,
yeah, I did that with my Wolf Rider champion. Like, I can't move into engagement because he will defensive strike me. Yeah. But I want to leap into his back to kill him so we can counter charge. It's like, whatever. There's no winning that situation, right? So I definitely had some difficulties on his feat turn. In the late game, it just kind of shook out. He was ahead on CPs. I want to say mainly because of the house. The house turned into like a big problem for me. I have no idea why I picked that side. It was stupid because there was a forest in the other zone, which would have been way better for me in terms of like getting my defense up from Tree Walker, and I can see through it and all that shit. And the house would have been less of a problem for me. So between that and the fact that late game Zadesh can like use his clouds a lot more strategically and a lot more impactfully to like say stop my stalker from charging things, that really cost me the game there. I think I think if I had chosen the right side, I think I can play into Zadesh just fine. Makeda 3, that might be a completely different story. I don't know. I have to see when it comes to OTC. I did take Wormwood in Bones, though, so I don't know. I don't know if Zadesh, Makeda, that seems to be a very popular pairing, but there's other stuff. Zal, Immortals, and stuff. Lots of questions. So, yes, Ziggy played very well, and I lost that game on scenario.
And then we lost. Jeremy won his game, I think, and then we went.
Yes, I can't remember who the third player was, but I think Jeremy just ended up clocking him as fucking Callus does. Third round.
Third round. I don't know. I don't think we never feeded. Did we feed ever? I don't know.
We feeded last round.
This is the last round? Okay.
I think we tried to get you a better what I thought was a better matchup, but once again, your lack of knowledge about that matchup.
We'll get to that.
Yeah.
So this was the round where I got to play Durst, and
feel bad for this guy.
So I haven't played a lot of Menoth, but I mean I have a general idea of what they're all doing. So I got to go first. I ran up.
At least with Siege, you're just like, I think I can kill you.
Yep. So I go first. I run up, just take as much board space as possible. Pretty much. He had some Idrines on the left. I held back a little bit there and used some cover and stuff. And I had a Firefly out in the open. I'm like, whatever, shoot it if you want. He prayed my Minuteman, who I stuck behind cover. So I was like, whatever. You can take a +2 and then a -4. So suck it. So I didn't care. And just took as much space as I could. So his second turn, he put up like all his upkeeps, ran up, positioned aggressively, took a couple pot shots at my Minuteman.
Yep.
Or my Firefly didn't really do any damage. He had Durst naked with 2 jacks base to base blocking line of sight in front of him.
Yep.
And then he passes clock. And so he hasn't feeded yet.
Yeah.
He has was the magical, so he had the magical guns up.
Oh, yeah.
Passage or whatever. So I'm looking at it, I'm like, so it's really hard for me. So my brain shut off first turn, and I forgot to put Explosivo up.
Right, to cycle it.
Right.
Yeah.
So he asked me, he's like, did you put Explosivo up? I'm like, nope, totally forgot. So that's why he did his turn the way he did.
That's actually better for you.
It totally was. So then, because I didn't put that up, he's figuring I'm not going to feed this turn because I'm not going to get as much work done, which he's wrong. So I stare at the board for a while, and I'm looking at it, and I'm like, oh. Could run my Lancer into the forest, and then I could see that guy there, and I'm like measuring it, I'm like, he's in range, and I'm like, okay, I got the distance, I can run there, and he's kind of like scratching his head watching me do all this stuff, because I still haven't done anything yet. I'm like, okay. And then I look over at Greg, I'm like, Greg, and he's like, what? I'm like, I think we're going to do something stupid, and go for lunch. And we're like, oh god.
Here it comes.
Here it comes, yeah. So I ask all the questions, I'm like, okay, so can I slam your jacks? Will they be moved? Can you, like, you know what I mean? Like, so he's answering questions. And like, okay, fine. So I force hammer the jack over his caster, knowing his caster's steady.
Yeah.
It's fine. I don't care, whatever. And, I do all that. Now, because I've done that, I have an opening.
Right.
I can now...
Because he had blocked line of sight with jacks?
Blocked the 2 jacks in front with line of sight. And I think if the jacks are base to base, they can't be knocked down. But I'm slamming the jack away. It's not base to base anymore. It's knocked down.
Yes.
He's away. And it was a shield guard I slammed away.
Right.
So it's kind of funny.
Shield guard, yeah.
He has 1 shield guard left. And then I'm like, okay. I'm like, I think I can do this. And then it's like...
Math is hard.
I drop my AoE of death down, do a punch of damage. He shield guards that, and then I move my big guy over the first Storm Strider, and then I start putting shots into him, leave him on a couple boxes. The Firefly goes, and I'm like, whatever, incidental damage, and I spike. I do like 6 or 7 damage with the Firefly, and he's just like, I think that just happened. And I killed him before I even activated the second Storm Strider, Jesus. So I was like, well, this was happening.
It was on.
Like, I'm going for lunch. I'm like, see you later.
He was on no camp either?
Yeah, he is totally naked and just block line of sight.
Yeah.
So that he figured he'd be safe with that. But that Force Hammer was close.
How the fuck does Foxhole work now?
You can't put it on a model. So you have to put Foxhole down and then enter it.
Right.
You can't Foxhole models and make them disappear like you could in Mark II.
Okay.
So Mark II...
So you can't put it on models at all?
No.
Oh, okay.
It has to be down before.
So they've reduced it just a defensive...
Yeah, really hard to use.
Yeah. Because I was like, Mark II, blocking line of sight to see...
Didn't matter.
Fucking matter, no.
I'm like, I'm behind my Colossal. No, you're not!
He gone! He fell into this hole! Which was dumb, admittedly.
So then I went and got some food, got you some food, and
yes, that I appreciated.
Yeah, it was good. I was like, all right, I'm out of here. See you later, guys. And
yeah.
It was like, it made me relive my Crix moments when we were playing the team event, and I would just disappear for 2 hours.
Oh, yeah, with Gorshade, too.
Because I had like an hour 45
3.
left in the round.
Oh, I know, yeah.
Like, I'm out.
That's the one where I got mad. I was like, why did you let him do that? Make him play a game.
Best year ever. Oh, that's so funny. So then it's your game.
So I got to play against a Signar player. Which is kind of like, oh, this is kind of interesting. And he had Nemo 3 and, I don't know, something else. Haley 3, I don't know.
So obviously it didn't matter because he didn't
He dropped Nemo, and I was kind of like hoping he wouldn't drop Nemo because I had Kruger, but head fake didn't work. So the table, I can't remember which scenario it was.
Maybe you should have dropped Kruger, but I know you want to play Morvan all day.
I want to play it in whatever. So I was kind of worried about it. I wasn't worried about it from the sense of getting assassinated because with the sack, if I'm careful with the number of sack pawns and stuff like that, I think I can not have to worry about it. But it was also the table kind of influenced me a bit because there was from where I was sitting, the side that I was on. I want to say, what scenario was it? You don't remember?
No, it was inconsequential. It could have been the belt, maybe.
No, we played that when I played Cool Grandma. Anyways, there was a building like kind of mid-table, and these are substantial buildings. They're the Muson Mini 3D ones, right?
Yeah.
So there's a building there, and then there's a forest like to the right and behind it, right? And I'm like, this works really well for me if that's the case. So I think I went first, and he picked the side that he was on. So I kind of got the side that I wanted, and I measured it. I'm like, I can just run shit up behind that building. This is great, and then push on the right into the forest and behind the forest and stuff like that. And if I get up there with like Tharn and whatnot, they don't care about the forest, and they can potentially charge through. And I got, cover from the building and line of sight blocking, lots of line of sight blocking. So that's what I did, and positioned Lord of the Feast so he wasn't. I might have just even ran up behind the building with Lord of the Feast after I filled him with corpse tokens, of course.
Of course.
And I positioned the Blood Shaman and the Gallows Grove so that I can Blood Ritual the Gallows Grove and make the stupid guy stupid. So Ben moves up, positions. I was kind of talking to Ben and I want to say he's a casual player. Like he said he plays like 4 games a month or something like that, which isn't bad.
Yeah, that's like 1 a week though. That's pretty casual.
Yeah, it's pretty casual. So I mean, he's a very very nice opponent as well. I felt bad unleashing the Lord of Feast upon him. But so he moves up, and I measure it out, and I'm like, well, I can move Brenos to the corner of the building, so he's exposed, but he's got cover, right? He's in range of the one Stormstrider that doesn't have Arcane Shield on it, so I can Mortality it, then I can get the Lord of the Feast going, and let's just see if he can kill a fucking Stormstrider.
Spoilers.
It happens.
Jesus Christ.
I know. So he had positioned both Stormstriders, so they were like, I don't know, an inch and a half apart, and then he had a Lancer, I want to say. Yeah, the Lancer in front. So if the Lord of the Feast taps the one guy and goes in between, he can't be pushed away. He's just going to bounce towards the other one and get stuck. So he goes in, he threshes, and he like cripples the Lancer, and does a bunch of damage to the Stormstrider. I do all my attacks. At this point, I'm like, I'm kind of still just gauging. I know he does fucking stupid amounts of damage, can kill like half a Colossal or something, but I'm like, armor 19, 17 with Mortality, 28 boxes. Does he do that on average with Divine Inspiration and shit? He does.
Yeah.
He fucking does it. And I've done it more than once, so it's pretty dumb. So I killed that one.
So again, people, if you're paying attention, that's a free model that just took out an 18 point.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. Not that I wanted to get nerfed, but fucking it's stupid.
We need Moops back. Because Moops was championing the nerfs before. He was like,
Was
Bradigus too good. Bradigus too good.
Yeah.
You gotta stop this. Double teleports too good. Triple teleports too good.
You have to be stupid to say the Lord of the Feast isn't too good. Yeah. He is too good to be true. And it's not going to last, I don't think. So that happens, and then I just kind of like continue pushing up on the right, get some shit positioned in the forest, behind the forest. Bridget and Call, I think, are now behind the forest. I think it might have been, it was. It was Spread the Net, because there's a flag back there in the forest or whatever. So his turn, I don't think he feeds, but he shoots some stuff. He does a good amount of damage to Brenos. The only reason Brenos doesn't die is because he missed the second boosted Stormstrider shot. but he's Fed 16. He did move into range to needing the 8s, right? Because he gets +2 if he's in 10.
If he's in 10,
yeah. So he did that. And he couldn't, like I said, he couldn't leverage all of his ranged attacks because of the building. So all I had to really worry about was the Storm Strider. I think it was maybe a Firefly or something like that, but it just wasn't enough, right? So the terrain was really working against him in that regard. If it was a much more open table, I would have had a much harder time. So the following turn, I can mortality the other battle engine because it's within 10 inches of Brenos. And I had a Night Witch solo on my flag, and from where he had the Storm Strider position, he was in charge right of the Night Witch. The Storm Strider has Arcane Shield on it, right? So I put on mortality, and then I charged with the Night Witch and used Dispel. And he's like, "Oh, does that get rid of mortality?" I'm like, "That's not an upkeep, bro."
Yeah, not happening. Sorry.
Yeah. Well, it was actually a little more complicated than that. I was like, I guess I wasn't there thinking, and then he had to go to the bathroom or something. I'm like, "Yeah, I should go to the bathroom," and then I'm like, "Wait a minute, it's not an upkeep." So to get rid of Arcane Shield, she does a whack of damage and then gets pushed away. I get like 1 Tharn Ravager charge, and then Brenos' gun, and the second Storm Strider's dead. So I had some good dice on that, but at that point he's like, "Okay, that's it, I'm done."
Yeah.
But I was like, "Look, why don't you just try your turn? I totally understand why you're going to call it, but do your turn, do a feat, see what you can do." And he's like, "Yeah, okay." So we played it out, and his feat turn was rather lackluster. Just once again,
well, you have those 2 Striders already. And
you've lost
hard.
Lost a lot of the workhorses of the list, but I don't even think he killed Brenos. Once again, it was just lack of line of sight, and a couple of attacks he could leverage against him. He couldn't land because of the defense 16. Bad. He had some bad dice in there as well, for sure. But yeah, so I don't want that to make me think that I can play her into Nemo 3, but it has to be like a great table state. Like I said, the building in the forest couldn't have been placed better in terms of like just pushing up, and like I have a stealth model controlling my flag that he has no stealth out for.
Right.
There's nothing within 4 inches that he can electro leap off of. I'm controlling my zone, and I pushed up behind the flag, and I'm controlling his flag.
It's kind of dumb because if you shoot something, it'll electro leap to the flag.
Yes.
But you can't shoot the flag.
No, exactly.
Like, that is the dumbest thing ever. Why does an electro leap go to it, but I can't shoot it?
Yeah.
Because that would be the perfect out right there. I shoot the flag, electro leaps onto you.
That actually came up when I was playing Donnie the other day. It was like I thought I had positioned everything outside of 4 inches, and he's like, "Oh, there's a flag there." I'm like, "Fuck." Fuck, he's right.
Oh, so funny.
Yeah, so when I played Donnie, Lord of the Feast killed one of his Striders as well. So apparently, it's pretty good odds.
That's going to happen. So then we go, so now we're, 2-1. We play against our buddies. We get matched up against them.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
So
this was Dave and Tim and Blake.
Yeah. And Blake is that's new Fabio.
That's new Fabio.
So Fabio couldn't make it because he was sick, obviously, and that's who they picked up instead. And he's a Crix player, so it was working
Perfect.
So I'm tired and stuff. I don't really care. And Tim's my opponent. I'm like, let's just ship Captain Crew and go get dinner.
Yeah.
And he
just got off of an easy assassin. Well, I don't say easy, but he got off an easy game with an assassination, and then you're like, you want to ship Captain Crew?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was in hungry, so I was like, and Tim's like, he's like, no, we got to play because he wanted to help Blake get in because we can backdoor the way through.
Yeah.
So he's like, I don't want to lose this, and then have it happen that. If I would have won this game, then I'm like, all
Turns
right,
out it wouldn't have happened anyways.
It didn't matter.
No.
So we end up ship Captain Crewing it. I win, and then as we're walking away, he's like, "Wait, could I have re-rolled the last one?" I'm like, "Yeah, sure, go ahead." So he re-rolls it to see if he could have beat me in the end.
Yeah,
and I still didn't beat my 9 or whatever. So I was like, "All right, cool." So we went and had dinner. It was great.
Well, once that had happened, I don't know. Dave had to play Jeremy,
which was funny because we're like,
it's not funny for Dave.
Dave's going to lose that game. That's why
we know. Yeah,
we already know that Jeremy's won. So basically, it was your game. Like whoever you beat Blake or not, that was going to be the deciding.
Well, and the thing with my game is I think he was rocking Scar 3, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure Dave and Tim told him, don't play Scar 3. Not going to go well. So I played Scabrous, and Blake's great. I enjoy playing with him. I like Scabrous, man. He does fun things.
Cool things.
He does cool things. I don't know if he's competitive, but he does fun things. And I think Blake was like assassinating people with him or whatever, right? So we're playing Recon 2. So I think I go first. He runs up, and I'm like, I think I can Raven, Deathjack, and kill Iacos and shut down two Seethers. That sounds like it's worth doing. So I do all the shit, and I decide that I'm not going to mortality Deathjack. It's a rerollable 6. I can hit that, right? I'm not going to mortality him, because if I do, I lose Brenos.
Right.
Right? And I feel like Brenos' Animus is too important in this matchup, just because Scabrous can just spell assassinate me with Arc Nodes or whatever. So I need it. I'm just going to go for the rerollable 6s. I missed the rerollable 6s. Okay. Game on!
Things went south so fast.
Things went south so fast. Well, it's got to go wrong at some point. So that game, the Lord of the Feast didn't kill shit. If I had mortality Deathjack, I would have hit, because I rolled 4 twice, basically. Right. And that means that Iacos is dead. I do some damage to Deathjack. But I think Iacos was probably on a 2 camp. I think it probably takes a few attacks for Lord of the Feast to kill him. Maybe I'm fucking
whatever
smoking crack here. Maybe just smokes him on the first one.
Probably.
POW 16, dice plus 2. Yeah, it probably does, even through focus. So I probably could have done Brenos and just satisfied myself that I cripple Deathjack, but I'm still whatever. I play a little more conservatively. That's the thing you do.
But that cost you. If you would have been balls out, you would have been fine.
Probably.
Yeah, see?
I say that, but in retrospect, maybe Deathjack does kill Brenos, and then the following turn he's got an angle on an assassination. Yeah. And you got to also remember, I only have 2 heavies in the list, right? So I have been in games where it grinds out, like when I played Mark, and I lose both my heavies, and now I've got nothing to transfer to. All I have to rely on is sack pawns, and that's problematic, right? So we do a bunch of stuff. He kills a bunch of stuff, right? He tries to destroy my entire restoration unit, but kind of the way I positioned, luckily, there's one model that he really can't kind of get to. But he kind of like commits both Seethers to do it. Doesn't have to really commit Deathjack. So my turn, I kill both Seethers. I have to use Brenos to kill the one Seether, which is not as good because I'm going to lose him to Deathjack, but I've bought myself another turn of Arc Immunity, right? This game, I Divine Inspiration the Chieftain, and he kills like 8 out of 10 of the crows or something like that. And it's not like he had him super positioned tight or whatever. It's just he had triggered Vengeance, and so he moves up and he just digs deep. He might have killed a couple of Overseers as well or something like that. Just crazy stuff. And so his turn, Deathjack kills Brenos. I think he clears his zone. I brought in my ambushers to contest his flag every other turn. Grinds down to basically he's got Deathjack, I've got a Stalker. Deathjack is pretty beat up. And I mortality him and I go in with like a bunch of stuff that I have remaining. Like he had it's not failsafe, it's Death Ward or something, plus 2 to ignore cripple systems. Had that on Deathjack, so I put in the Night Witch and dispel that, and then I go in with a bunch of stuff, and I'm like, mathematically, I think he did, but I rolled pretty bad, and it didn't happen. But he's pretty crippled, and he kind of had to commit Scabrous to go in and clear out a bunch of stuff for Deathjack to do work, and so the Stalker kills Deathjack and then sprints back to be out of Scabrous's threat range, because I've seen what Scabrous can do. He can kill heavies. Yeah. And he was getting a fair number of souls in this game, and he can use the souls to re-roll attack or damage rolls, his models or your models.
Nice.
So that was pretty cool. He's doing a lot of that stuff. I thought that was pretty amazing. So it grinds out, and there was a building in this scenario as well as probably on most of the tables because they've invested in a whole bunch of muse buildings, and I'm pretty sure that was the only reason I won the game, because there was at least one turn, maybe 2, where Movada was like hiding behind the building just enough that Scabrous couldn't get to her, like with spells or whatever, right? And the recurring Tharn and stuff kind of helped. I think I might have assassinated Scabrous in the end. But like I said, if it wasn't for the building,
you'd be in trouble.
I'd be in trouble. If I hit the Raven,
that's why terrain matters.
Terrain does matter.
Matchups where you should be losing, you can win because
it's one thing to have terrain on the table. You also have to know how to use it. I guess. And part of that is measuring. Like when I played Nemo 3, before I picked the side, I measured. I was like, yeah, I can run up behind this building turn 1. It's perfect. I like it. Great. I like it. If I hit the Raven, I don't think it's much of a game after that, because Iacos is dead and he's got not much to come in.
Are gone. He loses too much.
Well, he can walk over and activate the one, and I think I confirmed with him that if he activates, Seether can move, but it can't. It may be wrong. I would have looked it up if that was the case, but either way, it sets him back heavies like for at least 2 turns.
Yeah.
And I can start picking out stuff at that point.
Definitely. Yeah. So that puts us in another win bracket, so we're 3-1.
3-1, woo!
3-1 going to the last round. We get paired up against the Circle Jerks.
Yes.
which should have been their name, but
they were all playing Circle.
There was something else. I don't know what their actual team name was, but they should.
Yes, it was Marc Andre LeBlanc and
Matt Massey and Mike Stone.
Mike Stone. That sounds like a porn name. Sorry, Mike. It does sound like a porn name.
So you guys feed me into Matt Massey, who is playing Iona, who I had no idea. I know Lord of the Feast is on the table. I'm already a little tilted because of that.
Yep.
I can't. I don't know how to I can't stand the stupid broken shit when it's like so over the top.
He's. I don't know. I don't know what needs to be done with him. To be honest, there's to temper him a bit, but I don't. My problem with him is he should not be killing heavies. He should not be killing battle engines.
Yeah.
He should be able to kill dudes like motherfucker, right?
Yeah.
But not. And part of that might be the corpse field. I think that's the big change. He's now +3 POW basically on that first hit, and then each +2, +1. I think he should be able to buy attacks and stuff.
I've seen people talking about it.
When you can kind of cap him out at POW 15, he's not killing battle engines and heavies. He's killing dudes like nobody's business. But I think
people are saying that he shouldn't be able to get corpses off of the minion. Let him.
That would be another potential thing, but I still.
How about not charging something and then shooting something else?
I think that's fine as long as it's just if his area is killing people, like little dudes and stuff, that's fine. You know, if you can go after if you got to worry about your juniors, but you don't have to worry about your Warcaster, that's something different. Because POW 15 with Divine Inspiration and Puppet Master and shit, it's not going to kill a lot of Warcasters.
Yeah,
it's when he comes in at POW 18 and then it's POW 17 and POW 16. It's like that.
It's gross.
Yeah,
it's gross. So I play against Iona. I'm already I hate it already because I'm down on the game just because the stupid model's on the table. I'm just like, yeah, whatever. So I position up, he positions up, and he's like, okay, I'm this far away from the objective. I'm like, okay, whatever. But he's sloppy in his measurement. And he's like, whatever. So then I go for it's crazy. I have to slam a model to knock it down to die, not tough, to open up a lane so I can take a shot and try to kill him before he can do anything.
Yeah, yeah.
It turns out I'm an idiot. The thing was in a trench. I didn't need to do all that.
Blocking line of sight.
But I did hit my force hammer. It all did happen, and he toughed.
3 models, didn't he?
Yeah. All of them toughed. All of them healed back up to 1 damage, and I'm just like, this is stupid.
I had a number of people complain about the rapid healing.
Yeah. It's I do 1 damage. I heal 3.
It's actually really funny because I bring back Tharn with the restoration there on 1 box.
Yeah. And
there's situations where it's a net loss
because they shoot, damage you,
and then I heal up to 4,
and then you heal up again. You're just like, well, it happened to me. I was annoyed. So then,
that's why tough mitigation and anti-healing is so important right now. Not just Tharn, but other things as well.
So I measure, I get my measuring widget sticks out, and it turns out he was more than 16 away from the objective. Because it was actually a 1/4 inch out, so I was like, "You sloppy, you suck."
Yeah.
So I stayed behind that, so he couldn't do anything for the next turn. And then, not knowing what the list does and how it works,
you triggered Vengeance.
I'd shoot on the left side to trigger Vengeance. Well, there goes a Storm Strider. Well, that was fun. Thanks for that.
Did I mention that Tharn Ravagers are basically lights? With Iona on her feet turn?
Yeah,
they're heavies.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
It's fucking dumb.
So, knowing what I know now, I probably could win the game.
Sure.
Knowing what
you should be able to win the game.
Yeah, I never played it. Yeah, I had very little Circle experience this year, so I just didn't know what I was doing. So how I know now, I don't do anything for 2 turns. I literally just pass the clock.
No, you wait till your feet turn to obliterate units.
So I run up and I do nothing and pass the clock, and then he does his stuff, and I'm still not in range, so pass clock again. I don't even need to do anything. I'll keep my spells, pass clock.
Just make sure Lord of the Feast can't kill a Storm Strider.
Break up a little bit, and then be like, okay, now let's go.
It's important to note her Lord of the Feast really cannot kill Storm Striders.
Well, it doesn't matter.
Sure, I know.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
He did go in to try to kill Kane and failed.
Right.
But I'm I don't care. I've lost the game at this point. Mistakes were made. I'm already too far down.
How many Ravagers did he kill to kill the Storm Strider?
I think it was only 3.
Yeah.
Might have been 2, but it was no more than 3, but probably 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was gross. So I was just
do work, man.
I might have clocked out in the end, but I'm I made a game of it, but it wasn't great. I needed to take back that 1 shot.
Yes.
Or just kill. I could have force hammered what's his name directly. I didn't have to target the model in front.
No.
Right. So same thing. He was in the trench. I could have just shot him because I didn't even get to take the shot.
Yes.
So had Triumph boosted the hit and shot him.
Oh, he's just dead.
Yeah.
He probably had 3 corpse tokens at the time.
Probably.
Triumph shoots at POW 15.
Yeah.
So he's armor 19.
Yeah.
Dice off 4, needs a 12.
I did. We rolled it. I rolled it.
Oh,
12.
did you? Yeah.
But even then, if I had 2 shots at doing it, whatever.
Because I played Donnie, and that's what he tried to do as well. And like it was good odds. He had to trample with Triumph because he's got the dual shot then or whatever. But he didn't land the 12. I think he rolled a 10. So I was on 2 boxes, and then Ace tried to finish him off. But Kane hadn't allocated to Ace, so he had to boost the shot to hit because he's defense 16 behind a wall.
Right.
Hits, and then he's dice off 7, needing a 9, and didn't get it.
Nope.
So then I killed a Storm Strider with him. Fucking your life.
So I lost that game. Jeremy lost his game, and you played.
I played Marc Andre. It
Yeah.
was a really good game. He ended up playing. He had Wormwood and Kruger. He ended up playing Kruger. I'll try to go through this as quickly as possible. It was a fucking long, grindy game. I fucked up early, and for some reason I totally spaced on Rebuke, and I put my Night Witch in range of a spray, and he killed my Night Witch, and then I didn't have a way to remove Rebuke. So I had to play through that, but he also kind of made a mistake in his turn 2 when he's like concerned about me shooting the objective with the Raven and stuff. He like had a shield guard, had what the fuck is it called? The Guardian? Warden? I don't know, whatever, the big guy with the thumpy that knocks down. He had him there, and then he surrounded him with dudes in the house, so that if I Raven the objective, he shield guards it to the dude, and then I can't place, so that nothing happens. But he also moved the Warden on the left, and I was pretty sure he was out of 3 of the shield guard, and he was, and the Sentry Stone on that side was right beside the Warden, so I'm like, that's worth it. Kill the Sentry Stone, so I can start locking out the left. So I did that and killed like half the Warden as well. So basically, the game grinds out. I'm not going to get into it too much because it's like there was a lot of shit happening. It was a really good game, So I kind of pushed through on the left. Eventually locked him out, but I made a couple of key errors. Probably my 6th turn, I just sort of haphazardly turned facing on the one Ravager and allowed him to run the Blackclad in. If I had turned him, Blackclad has to take a Mat 9 free strike, and
then that's not good.
Not good, and I lock him out, and he ended up winning 9-8 on CPs. Definitely a boss in that matchup was the Blood Shaman, and not so much from Divine Inspiration, but she was like fucking spell slaving mortality on this shit like a motherfucker. And there was two times where I go up and I mortality a weird, and he's like, "Oh, Witch Hunter," whatever. And I'm like, "Just stealth." He's like, "Fuck!" And he finally got her, but it took like he missed. I had to move up into melee. Maybe it was a mistake that I did that, but moved up into melee to mortality. The weird, so got a shot, missed because she's defense 14, and then he killed her the following turn. But she was like just, I think she landed like four or five mortalities throughout that game. It was pretty awesome. And somewhere in the mid game, I think this maybe surprised Mark a little bit, but maybe not. He put in the Guardian to kill my Stalker, like ported it in. Did that, that's fine. And then Megalith went in and killed the Tharn that were in the zone. So I'm like, well, I gotta kill 2 Construct heavies. They both have like 35 boxes. Let's do this! And one of my Ravager units can't charge, right? So thought this might be difficult, but I mortality both of them, and then proceed to kill both of them without really breaking a sweat.
Son of a...
Well, I had Bridget and Call as well, and they I killed the weird that had prey on it, cycled it to the Guardian, and then I just walked up with the Tharn, and they just boosted damage with the corpse tokens, bought and boosted and stuff. And then they charged, and they didn't even need to do all their attacks to kill the Guardian. I think I might have overcommitted on the Guardian, to be quite honest. But killed that, killed Megalith, and then he just had a Warden left, and I kind of positioned Brenos in the zone, which might have been a mistake, I don't know. And so that the Warden has to kill Brenos. The Warden goes in, kills Brenos. I kill the Warden. All that Mark's got left is his Sentry Stone, Kruger, 1 weird, and like 2 Stone Shapers. And I've got like almost a full unit of Ravagers and the pot and stuff. Oh, yeah, this is kind of interesting. It's just, people might want to know this, because it surprised me a little bit. At the point where I'm kind of pushing into the middle zone, because this is invasion with the rectangle zone in the middle. The plan all along is like control the left-hand zone, bringing my Weavers on the right so that they're contesting every other turn, and then push through the middle, and then pushing through the middle should hopefully push me over the top in CPs. But at some point, if I lose my heavies, Morvana has to go into the middle zone to score it, right? My thought, was that the pot would score
Oh,
the
right.
circle zone. And Mark corrected me at a point where I still had options.
Right.
So he's like, no, the pot doesn't score, and somebody was like, oh, can you destroy the pot so the Gator Man can score? And he's like, no, it's still not an infantry unit. It was infernal or whatever.
It's a very weird rule when it's a unit.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what the thing is. I mean, Mark knows his shit, so totally trust him on this. But I don't know what the infernal thingamabobby is. I can't even remember what the wording on the unit was.
It's like a solo unit, but he can't score flags, and he can't score.
It does say unit. I'm just looking it up here because it's kind of an interesting interaction, and it's a very popular unit right now. It says minion unit.
Yeah. So I wonder why. We'll have to deep dive into that, figure it out.
Anyways, so when that happened, I was like, well, that's going to put me behind on scoring, right? Because Morvana now has to stay in the circle zone because the Ravagers are pushing through. And maybe if I'd known that a little earlier, or like I'm not faulting Mark, this is my own fault. I could have not committed as heavily against Megalith and kept one of my other Ravagers out, so that I could put Restoration on him, start building that unit up so that he can score that zone, and then Morvana could go into the middle. But it was a very, very good game. Like, we both made two kind of crucial mistakes. I lost my Night Witch early, and him not being within 3 inches to Shield Guard. So I think I can play into it more than I thought I could. But it's a very, very interesting game. And once again, the terrain played a role there as well, because off the center rectangular zone on my left side, there was a forest, like a fairly substantial forest that almost covered the entire side of the rectangle, and then a building. And I was like, I think I can use that forest if I can hook off the left, get that zone, so that I can see through the forest, but he can't, and then use that. Something that stopped me from really using the forest was Rebuke, because being able to charge the forest much more important. But it kind of worked. So I mean, we're done talking about games. I think it's super important. If there's terrain on the table, you should try to make it work with your plan, for sure. It was a great game. It was probably one of my best games of the weekend. That's it, man. Oh, and Jeremy ended up losing.
He did lose that one
because Mike Stone had a forest that he could use.
Is that what it was?
Well, it was blocking line of sight to his objective, and I think it just ground out to whoever had the CP or whatever. And I think Mike managed to grab a CP early or something. I don't know.
It was a good time.
It was a great time.
Saturday again, we played the Avalon all night, so it was lots of drinking, lots of Avalon. It was it ended up being 10 Canadians playing, which is kind of funny how that happened.
Yeah, it was weird.
Lots of yelling and stuff. It was a good time though. And then basically whatever, went to bed at 1.
Sunday was Charles went into Masters. So did
Charles, Mark, JVM, Jeremy.
Matt. I think Matt. Did Matt?
Oh, McWaters was there too.
Yeah.
It's all the ones you'd expect to see. And then Charles came out victorious.
Charles and Mark played in the finals.
Yeah, it sounded like it was a grind fest and mistakes were made and.
No, I don't know for sure.
From the back and forth thing, it's like, oh, he's going to go for an assassination. Oh, he didn't. I failed.
Well, I think it can be difficult just looking at pictures and picking out line of sight and stuff like that, because I know Magnus had feeded, and I think this is Charles here, right? Mm-hmm. So he's like, I'm going to go up, I'm going to snatch 4 CPs and put Mark in a situation where he has to try to assassinate, but only one of the birds can get shots, and if it's only one of the birds, it's like a 30% or something like that.
So it's like, take your 30%, either good game or now you lose.
Yes.
So I can understand that.
There's another situation, like, I mean, the fact that CaptainCon organizers invested in these muse buildings changed the dynamic of the games considerably, because I think, maybe not all my games, but 80% of my games, there was a house somewhere relevant on the table, and it changes things dramatically. And that final game, there was a house, sorry, let me expect that, there's a house central that Magnus could use to kind of hide behind from one of the birds, and that was like...
They also, this year, they upgraded, they had 2D terrain.
Yes, they did.
Which was a big improvement. The terrain was a little small.
I think some of it was Guild Ball terrain, just because of the number of tables they had to cover.
No, it wasn't. No, he had it made from a guy in Maine or something.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, some of it was small. I played a number of games, there was a forest that was the size of like a medium base. My one Tharn Ravager can go in there.
Yes.
Yeah.
They also bought 100 they bought 100 mats.
Yes.
But they didn't arrive in time, so it's kind of sad.
We were still playing on some of the split boards.
Yeah. Next year they'll have mats on all the boards.
Yeah.
But it was funny because I almost tagged an order on to them to get it. Thank God I didn't, because the whole idea would be I'd pick it up there,
and
drive it home.
But since it didn't
arrive, I would be like, oh God, now what? I'm not going back.
As much as I appreciate that they invested in the houses, and they're good houses, they're good sized houses and stuff like that, but there was a number of games where either I was concerned that my opponent didn't have full information, and I'd be like trying to remind them, there's these models behind the building, just so you know.
They are so high.
Yeah, and when I was playing Blake, I missed one crow that was behind the building, and so like I'm finishing out my activations, and I'm like just confirming, so I will score this. And I was like, oh no, there's one crow back here. I was like, oh fuck, how am I going to deal with this? And then I'm like, darn shame, man. Is he within 4 inches of Brenos? Okay, chain lightning. I do like it when you're like, you get into a situation where you're like, I have to go deep into my card here to figure this shit
out. I've lost games like that too, where it's like, oh, I didn't know that was back there.
Yeah.
You're not going to get up and go look.
Yeah. No, for sure. So, especially when it's like a 6-7 inch tall house. It blocks a lot of heavies disappear behind that fucking thing.
I did talk to Muse about it. And I was like, you should make those like half size, like.
I suppose they're nice looking
for sure, but I mean, cost wise, it'd lower the cost on the building. It's less material.
It would,
and it's still functional. And lower the price a little bit, and maybe sell a little more, right? Like
it only has to be a 1-story.
Yeah, that's what I was like. These guys wouldn't have 2-story buildings. Like, come on, this stuff would just fall down.
Yeah, it's fine if you're both on the same page and you want to make sure that your opponent's playing with open information.
Yeah,
but. Even it's like I'm sure Blake was not hiding that guy from me.
He positioned it there. It wasn't like I'm going to be a jerk.
No.
Like, not at all. So thanks for listening. That was CaptainCon recap.
It's a long one. Hopefully you enjoyed it.
It was,
as much as we did.
You probably have to listen to it over like 2 days because Mr. Chatty Cathy over here.
I'm sorry. I enjoyed the games that I had. They were good games.
It was good. It was fun. We had a ton of fun. And I swear to God,
I played 7 games of Morvana. Enjoyed every single one.
I wanted to podcast while I was there. I had too much fun playing Avalon.
I know.
That's too good. Too good. But I did do a video. I'll tag the video on this. If you haven't seen the video, it's pretty fun. It's just a recap of like everything that happened. I just had my phone with me, and I would just hit record, and as I'm walking, I'd be talking and filming stuff. So it ended up being a 17-minute video, but there's pictures and music and stuff. And it was good. I liked it. Whatever. So find us on all the social media and whatever. Ciao.
Short.
Douche. File.
Sushi.
What?
Sushi.